allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Hey, Jeff, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the reason I'm here, you guys, I think I know most of it. A couple of years ago, whenever it was, I gave you guys an easement to run that electrical line across our farm. And then they were supposed to go, all they said they were gonna do was cross the farm. And they were gonna bore it, so they wouldn't even do any digging on us. And then they were gonna get off our property and turn and go to that substation up that direction. You guys, most of you know where it's headed. Well, I told you guys, I gave you an easement, and I told the Lear boy was there and Ronnie was there. And I told
No,
you-
Jeff, that was it 2019? Ronnie, that's when you were probably working?
Yeah.
Yeah, spring of 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for reference.
Well, anyway, they started without the document being signed. So Ronnie had to stop them until they produced the document. We got that signed. And they started digging. First thing they done was start digging holes. And they were big ones, the size of this room. They dug 2 or 3 of them out in that field where they said they weren't gonna dig. And then what they did, instead of getting off the property line, they turned, and if you guys were on the board, everybody was on the board, remembers that those bids, there was a lot of difference in them.
Yeah, December 18, I remember the bids. One was extremely low.
And
Yeah.
that's the guys that got it.
Yeah.
Well, what they did, they turned and they stayed on us and tried to bore that line into town without anybody knowing it. And they hit something and they had to dig another big hole where they weren't even supposed to be. So, I think Ronnie had to stop them 2 or 3 times on that project because of these things. And they were supposed to patch those field tile as they hit it. Well, I've had nothing but trouble ever since. Now, this year you don't see it because it's a really dry year. But I got Mike Rose and had Mike come out and look at the damage. And it's like Mike said, it's cheaper just for me to run tile and hunt that up and try to repair. But he gave me an estimate of about 15 to 16,000. And of course, that could probably change up or down a little bit depending on what he runs into. But that's what I'm faced with. And Nick, I dropped the document off it.
Yeah, I generally don't operate independent out of them, so I'm glad you're here tonight.
Okay, well, you've got that document?
Yeah.
Okay, and I thought I'd let Ronnie tell his side of the story because he was involved in it every step of the way. Get up and talk.
They turned and went down the edge of the field instead of being back where they were in the utility easement because it was full of utilities. Which,
That's what saved him the money.
you know, they didn't have to do all that spotting and deal with it, bottom line.
So basically, that's how they got your bid so low,
Yeah.
by doing something they weren't supposed to.
Right. The contract, they didn't follow the specs of the bid, and the result is they tore up stuff in your field.
Yeah, that's my problem. I'm just telling you how they got there. how they
Well,
got
Nick,
the-
how should we proceed with this?
I guess I'd have to see what their contract said and their bids said.
So we need to go back, find a contract. It's 2018, I think, late 2018 we approved it.
That predates
December.
me, though. I started in 19.
Okay.
So I wasn't around back
So
then.
over the years, that tile's just gotten worse and worse. Any of you deal with dirt, know, if it's broken, it's gonna continue to get worse. And it's gotten to the point now you can't hardly cross the field in a normal year. This year, you don't have any trouble.
What it does, lots of times when it clogs up, then it blows it out farther back, blows it apart.
Yeah.
But it won't work, you know, the tile won't work anymore.
Was that the substation deal?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Or come from Duke and come across his.
Yeah,
field and
yeah.
Your substation.
That's the only thing I could figure you were talking about there.
Well, I had to go get Ronnie several times during that project and say, what are they doing? You know, they weren't supposed to dig and they've got these big holes out here everywhere. And there's no way they could have dug that stuff out and not interfered with those field tiles. They said they patched them. I don't believe a word of what they said because of everything else they did. But they were stopped, you had to stop them 3 or 4 times over there.
If I remember right, that was bid to bore the whole field
Can't remember the
in
name.
one shot,
Do
and they split it up.
do you remember the name of the contractor?
No, I don't right offhand.
Lady, we're both getting age on that. Mike, yeah, you're older than I am. I don't think it says on here, my agreement was just with the town.
I don't think it was electrical.
No, it wasn't Electricon, no,
I don't
no.
think it was him.
No, it was, I think there was 3 bidders, and, yeah, we'll have to go back and look, guys. I think it was December of 18, we approved it in 19 when they did it. I'm sure there's some people
Did
we
you
had to
guys
pay.
hire those or did IMPA?
No, we hired them.
Okay,
Emphasis did the design for it, and then we went out and bid it.
well, IMPA's got their name on it,
Yeah.
on the document.
Maybe go after
But,
him.
but Nick's got a copy of that, so.
Yeah, it's on my desk. Yeah, we just have to see whatever our agreement was with them as far as what our rights are to enforce with them.
But in the meantime, I'm sitting here, what, the reason I thought now, it's a dry year, it'd be the best time in the world to get it fixed. So that's what I'd like to do. The other issue, guys, you know we've had trouble getting rid of that water down there toward Dairy Queen. I don't know if there's a way out for that or not. I thought, hoping there's some way we could get through there with a tile somewhere and get that drained, you know.
Is it not a little better? It doesn't seem like I've seen it
It's
standing
been a
like.
dry year lately.
Yeah.
We get a wet year and it'll be right back.
Well, the quickest route would be to go to Parkway, wouldn't it? I mean,
The only thing is Parkway doesn't have a big enough, at least what I've been told, Parkway doesn't have a big enough pipe to handle it.
you know,
The only other way that I can see is if you can go off onto the Mexican restaurant. There's a vacant lot there behind the Mexican restaurant now. You could go to Parkway, but I don't think it, I think it's still gonna stand longer before it can go down. I don't know, Mark Lacefield was the engineer for the state when they put that in. Mark swears that they put a tile behind that Dairy Queen in that little rock. Dave, maybe you're aware of it.
There's a tile in there,
And the grates, you can't see the grate.
right.
If there's a tile in there, there's surely a grate.
well,
Well, there's a tile between Dairy Queen and the Mexican
where
restaurant.
does it go?
Well, it's
Back on
supposedly,
us, I think.
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, I wouldn't have thought the state would have done that, but I know I shot that thing 2 or 3 times, and it definitely falls to the west.
It does.
So, yeah, I mean, now what it's tied into up on the highway, I have no idea,
Is
but
there
I'm
a storm
assuming.
drain there at the highway?
Yeah.
Well, I talked to Mark, you know, and he engineered that. He went back over and looked. He said there was a grate in there somewhere, but he never could find it.
I never saw one over there. I mean, not,
Well, that would be the logical place for it to go then, if there's one in there. If that could be done. But first things first, I guess. But it's causing, you know, I don't have to tell you guys, the beauty shop, I mean, Mary Wicker swimming pool, it floods full of stuff, and it's just been a problem, you know. So, I guess we're done. You guys can look over your contract, and let me know.
Okay.
we'll do what we can, Jeff.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Ronnie. Mary or Melinda, which one of you guys want to talk, or both, or?
Sure, go ahead. Well, we are just back again to finish the discussion on deciding on a consulting firm for the bike and pedestrian master plan. And so, you know, we're here to answer any questions, concerns, anything that you might need from us. Or do you need a review from, I think most of you were here last
I
time.
think we're all here. Well, I mean, last time basically you said the one firm scored higher on the whatever you call the thing where you score them.
Mhm.
What's that process? I can't even think of the name
Like
of
a
it.
rubric.
Yeah, yeah. And the other firm, you like the when you did the actual calls, you said that they're very enthusiastic.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's how you base your decision, and you chose the one, the land stewards,
Land Steward Design Group,
and
yes.
the other one's Victoria.
Yes.
I don't know if anything's changed the last couple of weeks, but that's where we were. And, anybody want to say anything?
I mean, I'm where I'm at with the last time. I can make a motion, and if I can get a second, then, but, I mean, I'm not changing my mind on what you guys recommended, so that's where I'm at.
I'd make a motion to accept their recommendation.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, there you go.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
How many is that? 3? Are you guys voting or?
Oh, you guys opposed?
Nay.
I'm sorry. Okay. Bill? Oh, can I get Cindy to jump in here real quick?
Sorry.
I'm sorry. She got some okra stuff for us, so.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'll let Libby give her impression of the meeting we had with Oprah today on the feedback of our application.
I kind of mentioned to them that I thought there had been some issue with the scoring committee. They seem to have been somewhat impaired when they did it.
Why you say that?
I'm not sure.
I mean, some of the scoring, there were things that they said that Cindy was like, well, it's there, it's included. One of the comments was there wasn't a color map. Well, there was a color map, and just, and what's her name from Okra? Sarah made the comment that this scoring committee scored very low throughout the spring and felt pretty secure in if we reapplied.
Well, so what's your takeaway? I mean, basically just resubmit with some better documentation of various issues?
Yeah, so there's some very specific things that they are looking for. And I think we'll continue to score low in these sections if this is not changed. They do want better maps, and I did work with Roger to get some mapping of like the well field and some of the lines and the treatment plant, so they could see the vicinity of those items. One thing that he was not able to provide was something like a town map that would show meter pits and meters and lines that are being addressed in the project.
But don't we have some sort of map? Oh, just one. Well, don't we have a map roughly of the water system in town?
It's rough,
Yeah.
but I don't think it includes,
It needs to be in
Little
color, it needs
meters.
to have a legend, it needs to be a very
Yeah.
nice map.
Well, okay. Let's get one made.
And they also, the survey is a requirement.
Yeah, I'll touch on that, but the maps, and I know when I talked to Roger, I just don't know that they have the capability in their office or didn't at that time to produce those types of maps.
Well, there's other people that do. I mean, it's not a big deal. Let's just do it.
But I'm just trying to do it within your contract and not spend more money.
Oh, well,
To
yeah,
get them.
yeah. I thought
But
we.
I can work with Jeff on the maps that they're looking for.
I mean, we had a map that had some legends. Damn it, I've seen a map of the water system before, right?
Yeah, but we have to identify which pieces are being impacted by
Well,
the
yeah,
project.
I get that. But don't we have a map? Mike, you've been around a while here.
It's rough.
Yeah, but it's in color and it has legends and it kind of tells you
what we have is
stuff.
on GIS, is probably our best source. And that's the one that we had Roger go back and do. He took all of our maps and kind of compiled it up and did an overlay so that we have an idea of what's where, but to say it's 100% accurate, it's probably 75% accurate.
Well, okay, so we've got to start.
So maps in color with legends was one thing. They also dinged us on not having documentation that provided at least 5 years history on issues. We do have the tracking that Jeff's groups started, but that only went, some of them went back as far as 19, some were 21. They really wanted to see that 5-year history. So if anybody has any kind of documentation, whether it be a paid invoice for a repair, something, that we could show that history of issues. And then as Libby was saying, the survey of customers. So we knew we kind of lacked resident input when we submitted the application. One thing that I'm gonna just say going forward is gonna have to be done for any utility project is you're gonna have to survey your customers. I know it's not necessarily an easy
You're saying
or
if
cheap
we're
thing
going
to
for
do.
Okra money, we have to survey it. You don't be the same with, well, okay, never mind. Okay.
It's different than the income survey, so this
Yeah.
is about, service disruptions, or does your water discolored, or how many boil orders have you been through, those types of things.
They want to prove a health risk. They want this-
Well, my big concern is Maine coming into town. I mean, that's old, it needs replaced. Apparently both of them are pretty old. I mean, their issue is a lot of the stuff we're doing in town to individual residences, or, well, how would I say it? Is that?
Carefully.
It doesn't impact every person.
Well, no, but the Maine into town does, pretty much.
That does, but how do you demonstrate that?
What's common sense?
Okay, but
They don't
Is it-
have
here's
is
the
not?
direction we were given, is you have to write this like you're talking to a 5-year-old.
Oh, jeez.
I mean,
Okay.
it got pretty ridiculous, quite honestly, in the
Okay,
conversation.
if we don't have water, we will die? Is that, yeah.
You kind of have to say that, and then
Well-
where did it tell you that you'll die if you don't have water? I mean, they
Well,
want you to prove that.
basic, but yeah, health department, Liddy said it. So seriously, well, I don't want to go down the road too far tonight, but that's what we need to do.
So we need some type of survey.
Will you get this same committee again?
We don't know.
It's just too.
And we're doing this for $600,000 grant.
700.
Yeah, okay.
It was pretty insulting. I mean, we all know that Cindy writes really good grants, and the things they were saying were ridiculous.
Gosh, I wish I could have
Very
sat in on it.
confusing.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, like the committee was confused.
Yeah.
It seems like that. I don't know, but anyway, so survey is going to be a key thing.
Okay.
I don't know who you want me to work with specifically to get this out.
didn't they say we could use a Survey Monkey?
You
and-
can use online surveys, it's just how do you get the email address of the people? Or you can put the URL out there and try to solicit people to go to the URL and take the survey.
Could we send it through our Facebook account for
Yeah.
your utility department?
Yes. You could do like a Survey Monkey and then post the URL there. And I have an account for Survey Monkey so that you don't have to pay for that. If you want to do it, I just need somebody to work with to try to help get that communicated out. And then the last piece, after you tell me who to work with on the survey, that I have to have, of course, we have to do new public hearings. Brandy, is there any way to get a notice in a paper? I'm just gonna say, we have to have the proposal in on the 21st of October. And we have to have, again, 10 days prior. Which, since we just had our feedback this morning, is making it super tight.
Haven't we just notified a newspaper?
Well, you have to put
written.
it,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do a legal, because they have to provide an affidavit that it's there.
I could probably do a Clintonian
Or that Saturday.
for probably even maybe one day this week.
Okay.
Or no, they just do Wednesday paper.
Wednesday,
The
Saturday.
other day, yeah. Well, I still don't, that doesn't give me enough time.
Wednesday doesn't give us enough time. We have to publish it 10 days prior to the meeting.
They do
And
a
that's only
Saturday?
9
They do a Saturday?
They do,
paper?
yes.
The Clintonian does a Saturday.
Do you have the publication?
I can have it to you in the morning, or I can go back and do it when we finish here.
I
Give
can
it to
call,
you.
I can call in the morning and see if I can get in Saturday. If that works.
What is your date for the resubmission?
21st.
The proposal's due on October 21st. Full applications are due on December 22nd.
Merry Christmas.
So when's it due? I'm sorry, when's it due?
Proposals are
October's
October
proposal,
21st, the application
December
December
22nd.
22nd. All
Merry
right.
Christmas. And I don't remember awards, I'm sure I'll be waiting like February, so,
For awards.
yeah.
Is that it, Cindy?
Who do I work with on the survey?
I'd be happy to, if that's what you guys want.
Yeah, sounds
No
good.
matter to me.
Side note, Wednesday night, 6 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay,
And all parties will be there.
okay.
Are you wanting me there?
If
Yeah.
you're available,
That'd be great.
wonderful.
Always like to see you.
That's at your place, right?
So there'll be candy. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know.
Next Wednesday,
Or this one's?
This one's.
this Wednesday.
Not for, it's
different
for something
items, yeah.
different,
Probably,
Jenna.
okay, I was
Yeah.
thinking it was next Wednesday that you had to have a public hearing, correct?
No, our next meeting.
The public hearing has to occur before we submit the proposal.
Okay.
So before the
So the
21st.
17th of our
Yeah,
meeting.
but we have to publish it 10 days prior to the meeting. So that's why Brandy's gonna try to get the publication in Saturday paper.
If not, could it go in the Terre Haute since they're a day out?
So that's our
It's
like
like the
third
closest, but I
option.
mean, I guess the worst case scenario,
Yeah.
I don't see that it would hurt.
No, and they understand that, local papers do not have daily publications, and sometimes you have to look outside of that to meet your timeframes.
We good?
If we can get that in the publication for Saturday and or use Terre Haute,
Yep. I will,
the date of the meeting,
October 17th.
is that, I don't have that.
Yeah, Monday, 17th, yeah.
Can I count that particular day? That's 10 days.
Which particular, the day of the meeting?
Versus to the 17th. I'd have to count the 8th.
You can't count the 8th.
Yeah.
Then no.
So do the 18th?
So, how about I just go with the Terre Haute paper?
Maybe get it in even Thursday,
Get it in
Thursday or
Thursday or Friday.
Want to try that in the morning?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds like they're
And
trying
then
to,
meet on the 17th, what time?
at the
Can we do
beginning
that
of,
first thing for our meeting start the meeting,
5.
open with the public meeting for that
Okay.
at 5 o'clock?
Okay, everybody hear that? Invite your friends, please. 5 o'clock. Our public hearing on the 17th.
you know,
Okay.
that's during festival.
Yeah,
Just drag people in.
Yeah, off the street.
yeah, yeah. Free,
So what you
People
need,
parking cars, remember she said, have them set up.
complaints
have
about
them
water
set
is what you're wanting for that meeting?
yeah.
Okay.
And bring a friend.
Okay.
up. That says all their things.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're spoke with BCI today. The Tuesday before the Bridge Festival, after the courthouse closes, they're wanting to rope everything off so they can start setting up for the Bridge Festival. We're gonna have shuttles go out on 36 to Erie and then go back on Erie to go back to the Billy Creek.
Shuttle's going out 36 to Erie and back in Erie. I wanted us to use High Street all the way.
That's what they used to do.
But, okay, well, that's their, is that what they want to
more
run?
visibility.
Huh?
They said something about wanting more visibility.
How about safety first? I'm just
agree.
thinking out loud like I probably shouldn't, but, okay.
Maybe
Just
tell them
slap me, just
maybe,
slap me.
maybe tell them
36
shuttles aren't
Erie,
allowed on
Erie,
state
South
highways.
Well, it sounds dangerous, but
What?
It does sound dangerous.
Okay, I'm sorry, Bill. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So last year, or this year, we're currently at 347 criminal investigations. Last year, we finished at 309. Had 112 violent cases so far this year, or potentially violent. Last year, we finished with 121. We had a total of, we're up to a total of 2,977 cases, or calls. Last year, we had 3,479 calls to finish out the year. This month, we had 10 felonies, 18 misdemeanors, 25 infractions, and 63 warnings. I have a request to buy one charger and battery for our radios here. Sometimes you set them in overnight, they don't get seated exactly right, or they don't charge exactly right. You get on shift, you don't have a battery. It'd be nice to have one at the department that the officers should switch out, put their battery on the charger. When it's finished, they can switch the batteries back out.
I'll make that motion.
A second. All in favor?
Aye.
How much is that thing?
The charger is like, I think it says 30,
Oh, not bad.
and then the battery is
That's where the money's at.
how much? 60 bucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, not
Not
terrible.
too bad.
So the
We'll have worse.
Yeah.
next thing I have is, I have a request for Tahoe tires, but I think we're gonna change that, and it does slightly go up a little bit. I think they're about $10 per tire more expensive to go with the Explorer, which is weird, but Explorer tires are more expensive.
Huh.
But you can't get rotors and brake pads and stuff for the Tahoes right now.
Huh.
So we're gonna use the Explorer to go up and do the
For the Evoque.
The brake pads and stuff will be cheaper for that.
So why don't they have a vehicle there and just charge a fee for their vehicle use? That was what they. Seems like it'd be
Because it's the state.
because it's the state. Okay.
I have a estimate from Rock Auto on what each costs.
Good commercial.
We try to get them locally, but especially on the Tahoe, you just can't find the brake parts for the Tahoe. It's estimated with just the brake pads for the Explorer, it's going to be approximately $113, and I would ask to buy at least 2 sets of those. That way, we can change them right before and then right after. And the Tahoe, I'd recommend that we, as soon as we're able to find the parts, buy, because Ian's, actually the rotors need replaced, the pads need replaced. Chris's probably isn't far behind. I'd recommend we buy at least 3 of those so we have some on standby, so that next time it goes to need brakes, we don't have to wait for another however long it takes to get them.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hannah's car needs fixed. There's a, I don't know the name of it, it's Don's Service Center in Terre Haute.
Yeah, North Terre Haute. Yeah, on 3rd Street.
They're able to do it for about $354, and it's the HVAC mode door actuator that needs replaced.
What does that do?
So she doesn't get any heat coming out of her car right now, out of the vents, so gotta have that to be able to warm the car up, defrost the window, that kind of thing.
It's next to the Johnson rod.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Need a motion? I'll move.
Second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Uh,
How many you got there? Boy, you gotta just keep on.
Somebody did.
Oh, thank goodness there. Thinning it out.
Are we getting any applications?
We have 4, and we've also had like 4 requests for applications. We've set up a date to do some physical fitness testing. Gonna do that the Monday after the Bridge Festival. That way we can try and move the process along. I submitted, and I don't know if you want to talk about that now or if you just want to wait for budget talks with the, you seen the papers I put out for the leasing of vehicles? I don't know if you want to speak.
Oh,
about that
yeah, I
tonight,
went,
or-
looked at that. So that was that, the cost of leasing, was that 59,000 to lease, what was the
I
cost?
think it was 56. That was
56.
per vehicle. I talked to Kent there at Andy Moore, and without looking at the vehicles, just telling them, here's the VIN, this is what the mileage is, estimated that it's pretty much gonna pay for at least one of the 4 vehicles, to trade in those 3 vehicles.
So how long, okay, so, yeah, do you have more information on that?
As far as,
Well, how that works? I mean, it's 56,000 for how many vehicles, for what term of time, and, yeah.
so
You don't pay it all up front, right?
I don't know.
no, so
Okay.
the way it
It reads
works,
like it's an annual payment over
It's
the
an
course
annual-
of 5 years or 4
Yes.
years.
so it'd be an annual payment.
Oh, you got one.
You got one?
I don't have one.
It was
You
in
sent
that.
it. In
I
that
thought
email.
I think it's,
Oh, it's probably there. I had to work them all today. I didn't get here till right at 5. Maybe it was a Friday, I don't know. Thanks, well, here, you can have it.
Looks like it's almost a wash compared to buying a new leaf.
Here.
I
A
got it.
little cheaper, actually.
it's a little cheaper, it gets rid of most of our maintenance costs. It puts all the vehicles the same color. There is we could trade it in or we could keep it. That is the vehicle I'm currently driving. It's got 82,000 miles, so it still has some life left in it. That would, if we kept that would give us a pool car, a part-time car, reserve car, SRO car, that officers would still be able to have a car whenever.
Your Explorer, is that what we're talking?
Yes.
So is it a 3-year lease, Nick? Get me up to speed here.
So the bottom
You
part,
have
the
the-
financing options has number of payments 5 or 4, so I assume that's either an annual payment
Yes.
at 6.79%. So you can do it as 5
Okay.
years or 4 years.
Okay.
If 4 years is about 10 grand, 11 grand more expensive. But then his first page, I assume, is a quote for what a new vehicle would cost.
Yes.
So it looks like it's about a wash really per year.
Well, depending on, what maintenance issues might come up with
Right,
your
yeah.
own vehicle versus, okay.
Where would you have to take the vehicles for
Andy
maintenance?
Moore, for the
Plainfield?
Plainfield, yeah.
Plainfield.
Well, let us, yeah, we're gonna start some serious budget talks here soon. We're starting to get about all the data we need, and, I know you've had yours submitted for like 6-8 weeks. Appreciate that.
So they're looking at 5,000 for the, not to say you're going with that, but just to let you know what they were looking at without seeing the vehicle. Obviously, it would change once they do, maybe for good or bad, but 5,000 for the 2016 Ford Explorer, 26,000 for the Silverado, and 22,000 for the Ram.
Good time to trade. Yeah. Okay.
The last thing I have is, we went down to Nelson's, to look at uniforms, and, I have this, and they have not given us the badge, quote yet, but this badge here is supposed to be all gold, and it's silver and gold. I talked to Neil, who was obviously, chief prior to Randy and me and Rodney, and he said he believes these badges, most of them were probably 30, 40 years that we've had these. We haven't replaced the badges a lot. It's probably looking at around $4,000 to replace those. Some of the hinges don't work as well. Some of them got tape on them. The electroplating on it for the gold is coming off, and short of just sending those in and trying to get them sprayed, which is probably going to cost as much as getting new badges.
They don't make them like they used to. I still have my dad's.
But we went and we looked at dress uniforms and we looked at duty uniforms, coats and that kind of thing, so that everybody could look sharp and look presentable and look the same, look uniform. And they gave us a quote of $9,000. Now, we could, obviously, because we're not looking at changing the color of pants, we could fade that in. Some of us already have black coats, so we could probably fade some of that in as we're able to, but eventually we'd all like to be able to get in the same uniform, same shirt, and
That was one of the things the commission recommended. We feel like there should be a
Well,
uniform of the day.
I don't disagree at all, but where are you gonna pull the money out of? I mean, I think, well, yeah, it's on our list, but let's prioritize what we need. It's interesting, those badges, that's fascinating, been around that long. But yeah, so you have that data on something that we have?
I just got this before, I was
Okay.
actually printing it off before I come down here.
Well, yeah, we need that for,
How many
Budget.
badges for $4,000?
So that would be the hat badges, which would be 6 hat badges. Then there would be 6 shirt badges in gold and 20 badges in silver. And we would not be putting the 20 silver badges, we would not be putting, you know, like R4, R5, all that kind of stuff. We would just leave it as a badge so that everybody can interchange them and we're not losing badge numbers and trying to be more cost effective and not assigning numbers to them. You still get a number for the radio, but not have one on your badge itself.
So how does that correlate into the bicentennial badge?
That would not be the same badge. That would be our, like, after, I would guess you're only wanting to use that for that 1 year. So all the other, I guess, the way I understand it is just for full-time, so the part-timers would be wearing theirs. The only time we'd be wearing that would be for dress uniforms. Obviously the bicentennial badge would be one for that whole entire year, but it would also make the rest of the officers look a little better in that they would, when they come out, have at least a newer badge.
That might be something the foundation would, that might be a good resource for them for that.
I agree. I'd like for you guys to have them. I'd also like the fire department to have too, so, I mean, if that's possible, we could talk to,
With some lead time, that you could probably get one that would be available.
all right, thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Oh, Brandy, you're up. What you want me to skip?
No, I'm ready. Okay, you should have claims there for 467, 554, 66.
yep,
Motion to approve after park.
yeah, 273,559 for our electric last month. That's more than half the total. What else in there? Had some American structure.
What did they say electric's going up percentage?
What they say is going up percentage? Well, it depends on, you know, where you're at. I know NIPSCO, Indiana,
They
is
didn't come up with a number.
no, it's NIPSCO's NiSource, which is part, NIPSCO's part of it, Northern Indiana. What'd you hear?
They didn't put a number on it. What?
Oh, well, IMPA has not. You're talking IMPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, they met last Friday and they talked about it, I assume. You didn't, did you go?
I didn't
But
go.
they were supposed to talk about it, but they'll come out with rates in another month or so. But in general, there's yeah, I'm trying to think what to do in Northern Indiana. They requested a huge rate increase. It's big. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing really on here of out of the ordinary at all.
Second.
Yeah, we got a second motion. There we go.
All in favor?
Aye.
What?
It's fine.
It's like Groundhog's Day.
What you got there?
You go a long way to get there, I tell you.
A long way to get there.
I just have 583.79 this meeting for billing adjustments. There's just a few. I had a leak adjustment, a reversal. There was a leak on the town side as well. So there's an explanation on page 2 if you have any questions on
Motion
that.
to approve.
Let's see who
Second.
it is first.
All in favor?
I'm still looking, hold on. Yeah, okay, yeah,
I have a amendment to the salary ordinance that I'd like to propose that just makes my account payable position a part-time position, and I've reduced the salary, according on that. It would just be a 32-hour-a-week, position with no benefits or retirement.
so 32 or less is considered part-time?
Yes.
Okay.
So it'll be a permanent, basically a permanent part-time position, but we won't be doing retirement or benefits.
Is it like at the county where you get half the vacation and all that jazz? or-
I think so. I've got to look in the handbook, but I'll have any PTO time accruing just the same as it would for anything. If there's anything else that comes up, then I may bring that up the next meeting to discuss on that.
I'll make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There, the Santa 5K is clarified.
Yeah, I wanted, I think I sent this out maybe, but the last meeting when I had asked the Tri-Kappa doing their route for road closure, and it was questioned on the Santa 5K being so early, they had that in the subject line, so it was just my misunderstanding. They're actually talking about a Halloween, they call it the Wicked 5K. So they'll probably be asking closer to Christmas if they decide to do the Santa one, but just for clarification, it is more so for Halloween. Do you want to discuss clock placement uptown? And are there any suggestions, ideas, concerns? I do have a particular donor that's willing to pay for the entire clock, the base, anything that goes on it. But they're kind of curious as to placement on that. And so, but I feel like moving forward, we probably need to discuss where you
Well, I know
would
there's
like
been
for it to
multiple
be.
discussions. There's discussion, or been suggested we do it in one of the bump out areas there and free up 2 parking spots, which is the good logic. You know, I can't visualize exactly how big the thing is. I mean, what is it, guys?
How
It's
tall is
6,
it?
8 feet tall.
I thought it was 11.
11, oh my.
And then, is that with or without the base?
I think that's without the base.
So probably it's gonna be about 14 maybe feet, 13,
Well, we want to
14.
pour a concrete base for that, won't we?
I don't know how, I mean,
Yes.
Anchor it down.
I don't know what, have you got a footprint on that yet, Jeff? I mean, did you guys,
On the clock itself,
on the base, I mean, what we'd be looking at on the base?
I still kind of need the dimensions of how big that thing is going to be as far as the pad goes. I think I have one drawing that Danny sent over, but it'll have to be a good sized base. You want it to be in there. Good.
Well, I mean,
Now, are you thinking about putting it in that one pump out where we stubbed out the electric?
yes. I mean, that would be my preference, and, I mean, I would take, to a point, I would probably concrete that whole area. I mean,
Because people are going to be standing
Yeah.
around it and everything like that, so.
well, like we've talked about it, you know, just like doing challenges and stuff, you know, with motorcycles, Jeeps, side by sides, where people can go up and I think that'd be a good place for that, cause you can pull right up in that entrance and take your pictures. And,
Okay.
no, I mean,
I
that's
like
just all
that,
I'm
I
saying.
like that area because you can see it
Yeah.
from the stoplight. You just look down and it's there.
So,
Would you guys like to vote on that?
Sure,
Okay.
is that a motion?
yeah,
Is there a second?
second.
All in favor?
All right.
So you're going with the bump out area where we did the stub
Yeah.
out.
Anybody opposed?
You need a concrete pad.
Okay.
Is the
trick or
clock
treat-
in? Is it?
No, and then that'll be next year, but we just need to kind of get an idea, and like I said, we have a donor that will take care of all that, so we just need some cost estimates, sizing, stuff like that, so I can get that back to them as soon as possible. Trick or treat hours, I've been asked to set those hours.
Do we usually do 5 to 8 or 5 to 9? 5 to 8. Bill, do you have a preference for trick or treat hours?
Was it just 2 hours though? Was it 5 to 7?
6 to 8?
Well, you want them off street before it gets dark and how close
Well,
to
it gets
it.
dark at
Well,
8
then,
o'clock, it's gonna be dark.
well, yeah.
7:30.
I'd say 8 o'clock probably,
6 to 8?
6 to 8.
or 5 to 8.
5 to 8.
You'll have enough
Yeah,
time to
because
get candy.
they take the
bar.
I
little
don't
ones
eat
out
candy.
sometimes earlier.
Try not to.
The churches, do they start as early as 5 o'clock maybe?
I don't know.
Do we force the trick or treating? We call them off.
No more trick or treating trail. I guess maybe it was till 8 because it was all around town,
Yeah.
obviously. just
Cause
kinda
Main
as a-
Street does their thing and then some people, if it's still time, go out.
So
That's
is
my motion, is
everybody
5 to
good for
8.
5 to 8?
I'll second
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And that is on a
Monday,
Monday, the 31st, actually, that day, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, what is this next thing?
I don't know what I did with her first name.
Well, I don't even know what it's about.
Okay, I got a phone call from a lady at the elementary school that said she was given permission to paint across the crosswalk
But,
and wanted to know how to go about getting cones so that they could safely place the cones out there so they could paint the street. And I suggested that it would be beneficial for her to get approval from the council before we do any painting of the street.
well, absolutely,
So-
but also the content of what she wants to paint, I mean, that seems to be.
That's what the
The
elementary still
elementary school,
called.
it's kind of
Oh, okay, so it's appropriate then.
Yes,
I was
Yes.
concerned there for a minute.
Me too.
And it would be in front of the elementary school, is what she was telling me.
like where the
So-
kids go across.
On out.
Is that
to-
is that walkway open now? I've been away from that for so long, but they
Yes.
come across there.
Yes.
She said directly in front of it.
Yeah,
so
cause they
that's where-
still have a crossing guard, well, their school has somebody out in front.
Okay.
Who gave her permission?
Me.
Oh, that's not what she said. But
So she came through the proper channels and we're all good. Okay,
yeah, we just needed to make sure we documented that because the high school, they had come and asked for permission before they painted
Okay.
anything on their streets too. So I told her that I'm sure it would be a problem,
Would
but
they
we needed to
Paint
get that.
away, they painted walls,
We needed to
yeah.
get that
Painted
approval. So it is okay to. She just said they were, I think, just going to paint rocks. You know,
Paint away,
ROX, not
paint away.
rocks.
It's
So-
rocks anyway.
It's just ROX. So you.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
For that.
Yes.
All right. Okay, we originally did our calendar last year to do Columbus Day because it actually does fall on Monday, October 10th. Usually, the town and the county will observe that on the first Monday of festival. I did ask today that the courthouse is celebrating their Columbus Day on Monday the 17th, where their offices will be closed.
I will not be celebrating that
I
day.
don't have a preference, but if you would like
You don't
for
like the
me
Bridge
to
Festival?
change that, and then just
What do
keep
you
in mind
think?
too, the meeting
how do you
will be
celebrate
the
Columbus Day?
following.
How do you celebrate?
It is,
I
and
don't
we're
know.
not even supposed to do that.
Can we, but
I tend to go wander around and see if I can find things.
okay, I'm fine with that, Brandy, it makes
I
sense.
don't.
It makes sense because, well, it's such a busy time.
So
up
does that
here.
mean there's, what, is that the third Monday?
Yes, no, yes.
So
I
will
don't
we be
know.
meeting on the 17th?
And
Yeah.
And the county has moved
Oh,
theirs
we
to
got
the
that issue,
Tuesday.
don't we?
We got their water thing.
That again, I
Oh,
don't have
yeah.
a preference. So.
We'll have to meet that time.
Well, if I survive, I'll try to be here.
So we'd meet the 18th instead of the 7th.
Well, that's up to you guys if you want me to make that.
Oh, that would be, I'd
change.
like that
The
better, I
county
think. Oh,
is
we
moving
can't.
We
their
can't, we
Public
gotta meet the
hearing. We
17th.
gotta have the public hearing.
Well, you don't have to if I haven't advertised it yet.
Well,
Where'd Cindy go?
She left.
Oh,
I hate to screw up.
I don't.
Mondays are good. I mean, that's what's in my schedule. If I
So
move
we'll
one
leave
night,
the-
it basically moves a lot of things.
Are you good if we change the closing date to the 17th, leave the meeting? Is everybody good with that?
Well, that's what y'all had in your schedules up till now, right?
As far as the meeting goes,
Yeah, no,
I
I
just,
mean-
I
just
have
for
Bridge
this.
Festival on my schedule.
Well, yeah, during the day, but at night.
I'll be tired. But I'll try to come.
Yeah, that worked out perfectly to celebrate Columbus Day. You can just go wander around the Bridge Festival.
Yeah.
Up and down the hill.
So will someone make a motion to move
I'm-
October 10th?
Move,
to
move,
17th?
second.
But we're leaving our meetings.
Yes,
So we're working on the 10th, but not the 17th.
yes.
Okay.
And the meeting will still be on Monday, October 17th at 5 o'clock with the public portion of whatever
First.
Cindy sends me tomorrow. We good?
Okay. Yeah.
Is that good?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Sounds like a wonderful time.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Can I
I
vote both
do have
ways?
noticed that just in case, and since the paper's here, it won't be till Wednesday, but the advisory for Rockville Road. That one has been lifted. I apologize to those residents that have been very patient on waiting to get those results, but that oil advisory is taken care of, so we're good to go on it. I think that is all I have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nick?
A couple things. We had a ordinance hearing September 20th. Judge found in our favor, imposed a $100 fine for trash burning. Repeat offender, so that's why I asked for the fine to be enforced. So we have a judgment in favor of us for that. We also have ordinance violation hearings tomorrow. There's two different set tomorrow. One's a repeat offender that's been fined before, so I'm hopeful the judge might be able to do something with that property. The appraisals have came back, both sets for 304 Howard Avenue and this South Jefferson Street property owned by the town. So I didn't know if you guys wanted me to prepare notice of acceptance of, they were accepting bids, or what your pleasure was on that, I guess.
I say move ahead.
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any preference on when I set that for? I'd recommend give them 30 days to receive bids. So sometime, second meeting in November, was it, sorry, second meeting in November then? Would you want that as the date? Okay. So I'll get those prepared and get those to Brandy.
No, we're just talking, these, we own these.
Yeah, you guys already own these properties.
I know
That's
that
not
one.
the Asbury.
Oh, okay. Is that the one down this one?
Yeah, the second meeting in November is what I'm gonna set it up for.
Okay.
That way it gives them plenty of time to get bids to us. And usually the way I word that is just the lowest bid has to be at least the average of the two appraisals. So but they can exceed that, they just can't be below it, so. That's all I have.
Wow.
Good job.
Jeff?
Yeah, our Community Crossings Grant 2022-1 is pending closeout. I think, Brenda, maybe you have all the invoices in. I'm not sure if you have or not, but let me know if you do or if you don't.
I'm thinking the striping one was at the last one.
Yeah, I think that was the
came in,
last
so
one.
I think it might be in those claims today.
So whenever we get the canceled check, if you could just scan and email those things to me, I can get them in the closeout packet.
Are you gonna pass this on?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
One more my way.
Good?
Yep.
Anybody got one? Sorry about that. Still waiting on the award for Community Crossings Grant 2022-2 for North Michigan. IMPA gave us a list. Brett and Dan got together and came up with about 16 more poles in town that IMPA's going to be working on for replacements. I also received cost estimates for the three-phase extension at Benjamin's to give us an alternate feed for the water plant. For IMPA to do that work, it's a $67,000 cost estimate. We also had an estimate on taking that big ash tree down as part of that project too, $5,000, but Brett's pretty confident that he can take that down himself with our crew. And we've already talked to the property owner, and they would not have a problem with us getting on their property and taking that tree down. Now, it might cost us, there's another limb on a tree on their property that kind of overhangs, so we can take care of that for them in trade, but that's about what that particular project would cost us, just for your information. If that's something that the board would like to do, have to move and approve.
Well,
But before you do, keep in mind too, I'm gonna skip down to the South Market because we also got a cost estimate on that for utility coordination.
yeah,
For IMPA to do the South Market relocation of those poles and reconstruction of the line, it's about $90,000 for that project too. So both of those are salty. Talking to Brett though, he didn't think they were really too far out of line when you figure about, $70,000 a pole, materials and everything. So I wanted to throw that out there for your consideration. There were a couple late breaking things that came in, so.
We don't really have an option, do we? We have to relocate.
Well, yeah, the relocation, South Market, I mean, that's pretty much an obvious done deal thing. I mean, your question is, do we want him to do the tree or not?
Do you want to do the three-phase extension that helps feed the
Well, if
water wells?
if they think, obviously they looked at it, they felt like it was necessary to, or not a good idea to improve it, I assume. I mean, that's why we're
Well,
looking at it.
yeah, and we talked about it before, that the obvious benefit of that is if we have it go down on one end and we're not able to feed it, you know, we're kind of at the mercy of being able to get that line back up. But if we have an alternate route,
Right.
it just,
Well, no, anybody else have anything to say? I think it makes good sense. We, been working on three-phase all over town for years.
And it has definitely helped with outages.
knock
Well-
on wood. So do you guys want to make it a motion to approve both of those?
Well, I'll move both the three-phase, there on, well, the Benjamins to the well plant and the South Market.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Okay, thank you. Also, the electric department has been using a 12-ton press, that's a big press, pretty consistently from RMC and IMPA, who've been very gracious in loaning that out to
What do they
us.
crimp with that? It's a crimper?
Yeah, and it's for the bigger wire, obviously. And it's a salty piece of equipment, it's $4,254 from Alltech. I'd like approval to get that.
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Bridge Festival preparations are underway. We've coordinated with PCI for electric on South Market, northbound lane, and the hill of the depot property. Talked to Nisa about that extensively, and I think we're going to be okay. We've also looked at the number of spaces inside the tent. We met with the tent company, and we're pretty sure we're going to be able to do okay with the lighting and everything also.
Aren't they supposed to go over in time?
Yeah, I think
thought it
think
was
this
today.
week.
Yeah.
Could have been as early as today.
That's good.
They ran into an issue, so they'll be starting tomorrow, because she just texted me.
We talked about the Jefferson, the two intersection. Nice.
Excuse me. Parking on the north side of the square, I did contact Boonville, I emailed them, didn't get a response on the email from the mayor's office, so I called and left a message today about how they did their ordinance with oversized vehicle parking, so hopefully I'll be able to make contact with them and give you some more information. Should be the next board meeting on 10/17. I'll have some budget and staffing numbers for you regarding just some of my thoughts and proposals on how we can piece all this together.
Yeah, on that parking, apparently the south side of the center line is 5 feet wider than the north side.
Okay?
I don't know how the sidewalks lay out, I don't know what the right of way is up there, but apparently the center line in the road is 5 feet to the north. I mean, it's obviously lines up with the center line going down the highway, but on the square, there seems to be five more feet on the south side.
Was what, that may explain why it's not as big an issue on that other side.
So what's the objective? Just get extra long vehicles off the north side of
Because
the.
you can't, a lot of times if it's a big truck coming towards you.
Yeah, I know, but a sign won't do it. I mean, I've seen signs at places where, do not park. Of course, I don't know what you describe them. I can't think what they describe them. But what are they?
I guess where I was going with that, I don't know if the DOT would shift that over or not. I doubt if they would, but it might be worth a phone call.
I can always talk to that Tim again, and he probably is aware of that. I'm like you, I don't know that there's really any recourse to that.
Well, people driving big vehicles ought to have enough sense not to park there. I mean, it's.
Have you met people lately?
I'll reach back out to him and
Oh,
see
I
if he
know.
has some more
I
information.
mean, we could measure how far a distance is appropriate and,
Just
mark
drop a
it.
line.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Or you could post it on the sign that if your vehicle's in excess of such and such length, then
Your glasses always have full in them.
Yep. No, it sounded like a heck of a lot better.
I don't even know why we're messing with it, frankly. I mean, they get hit, they get hit. It's been working this way for years, but spent a lot of time on it. Appreciate it, Jeff.
Okay.
But
Just
keep
bring you
on-
the information.
Keep on working. Yeah.
Okay. Water improvement project, we just talked about that. 41 North Sewer expansion. Brian is thinking that he should have some more information coming in from the contractor sometime this week. He provided an update last week, so anxious to hear what they have going on. I think they're still having difficulty pinning down materials as well as everybody else is. So I'll keep you posted. South Market Street, Ken sent an update on that. And I also sent you guys an email reference utility coordination letter to NDOT. And I've asked Ken for some feedback on that because the letter says that anything past a certain point becomes the responsibility of the town of Rockville to 100%. Well, it doesn't specify really in that letter what exactly utility coordination are they talking about? Are we covering AT&Ts? Are we covering REMCs? Blah, blah, blah. And I really haven't gotten an answer out of them as far as, is our own utility coordination covered under this as well. So Ken was supposed to get back with me today. I haven't heard anything from him. I emailed him this morning for an update. As soon as I hear anything back from him, I will forward that on to you guys because, again, I have a few questions about that specifically. The Jefferson Street project, we just did the South Market relocation. Jefferson Street project, thank you guys for showing up. I thought it was a nice little ceremony there. You all look great. The 2 street lights that we have been waiting on, whose delivery dates were supposed to be October 21st, we took delivery of them today. So I appreciate Jeff Clyde's and Halophane working to try to get them here a little bit quicker. Appreciate their efforts on that. Contracted Kevin Beck, who's going to get to Central Illinois. Hopefully we can get those installed prior to the Bridge Festival. I'd like to get them this week if possible, so we're avoiding a little bit of the crowd. But they're here and we can get those up and finally write that off the books.
Where are these 2 going?
On the corners, one down by York and one up by the
Little high
ADA
corner.
ramp.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 we're waiting on. We do have the final drawings from IMPA on the charging stations, so we can get ready to do the pre-installation work on those. UMAC, Mike and Troy and Ronnie Jr., these guys have been helping with a lot of our leak repairs and everything since I just have Tony right now, and we appreciate their assistance. We do have requests for approval for Peerless Midwest pump and performance testing in the amount of $2,700 per year for 5 years. If I can get approval for that, please.
Motion.
This question, I mean, we've done this before, right? Didn't we do this before?
Yeah.
I thought
It's been
so.
a while.
We did one here not too long ago on meter
They ought to be done
calibration.
annually. That way you know how your pumps
Right.
are doing, how your wells are doing.
Okay.
So it ought to be done annually, that way you can keep track of that. and
The
See
one-
when they're going
the one
down.
you're thinking about is the meter calibration.
Okay. Anyways,
We did
you
one of
motion.
those.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Also, we have electrical heating units, quote from AC Electric. Yeah, I think were there 3 of them, Bruce?
2.
2 different units?
Well, yeah, there is 3. There's one down below too.
Okay, I thought there were 3. Let me double check.
Yeah,
here.
there is. Here's the invoice, Jeff.
Okay.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, I've got it here.
And they're gonna run new power out to the,
So this doesn't have to
4
be
or
that.
5. Yeah, 9,200.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think it's 25,000. When you have to bid special.
Oh, yeah. I think it is.
Jeff has a copy of that bidding information. I can look back it on it. There's 3 different tiers on it.
So are you waiting on us?
Yes, he is. Are we
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
approve
yeah,
this?
just, need to know what you wanna do with that.
Well,
Wanna approve it?
I think we need to have heat, do we not?
It would make sense. I would say your equipment would probably work better with it.
I know I do.
Yeah, me too.
Is that a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll just
Second.
spend all the money.
All in favor?
Okay, where are we at here?
And finally, this is just an FYI, I signed off on it. Wellhead protection plan is gonna be written and submitted by, Hydrophase Incorporated. And, their fee for that is $1,975.
And that's due real soon.
Yeah, it's due by the end of the year. Just
Okay.
just FYI on that.
Okay.
Where'd they go? They just.
They just left.
I
Why?
guess they don't have anything else then.
Okay.
Let's see, decorative lights, still waiting on getting a chance to get that up. Fast pace, we'll get them hooked up when we can here. Oh, cleanup day. We talked about maybe doing one this fall. Do you want to do one after Bridge Fest?
Probably can't do it before. can
No,
you?
we can't do it before, but, I thought maybe if we did it a couple weeks after Bridge Fest, it might give a chance people to get rid of some stuff.
Yeah, before Thanksgiving.
So we want to go ahead and set that date as,
November 5th. It's election day, the 7th. 8th, maybe. Wait till after and get rid of some.
You want to do it on, yeah, Saturday the 5th.
yeah, is the 5th good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you all very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, since you, Max, took off,
They don't wanna talk.
You got what you got? Go ahead.
nothing, I'm just running through, do you have something?
Oh, yeah.
Old business?
Yeah.
I've
Old.
got something too.
This is old. Yeah, Jeff, one thing, you probably ought to put the Suez proposal for long-term water tank management back
I
on.
put it on that.
Put on your agenda. You probably want to, you had it on last time, but you probably want to put it back on for until in perpetuity for the Jackson Voorhees project, because there's going to be,
Okay,
we need to keep remembering that we got that out there and we're trying to figure out what to do. So those two things. Yeah, the Suez thing, I've been looking at it again, and it's, well, back when the sewer or the water department borrowed $2.5 million back in 2003 is when they redid both water tanks.
Right.
And so here we are, we're going to pay that off in the next 24 months, and it'll be about time to redo
Yep.
the water tanks again. If we jump in on this thing, we will have a plan where, yeah, you're paying 80-some thousand a year.
It's better
Well,
than 600.
it's better than borrowing a couple million every 20 years. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to look into this further.
There's no more.
So that was old business. What else? Oh, just side note, the South Market project, they took out the 20% contingency originally back in 12, 13, and 17. It was 4.5 million. And that was a 20% contingency, which was not in there. They put the contingency back in there. So now we're looking at 5.43 million on that project. I don't know if anybody looked at it. It's just heads up. It's going to be more. And
Shocker.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. With some stuff from Stormwater Board, Kevin. I brought my minutes from that. We need to talk about a couple things there. It's kind of old, kind of new. I don't know. Why? You got old stuff or new stuff?
I got something.
What you got?
I spoke to Josh about Benjamin's, and locally they are done. Fire marshal is done. However, insurance is not. So I guess we need to rope it off as best we can. Caution, they can't clean it up before festival.
Darn.
No question about that though. So that, the new parking lot has to be roped off at Benjamin's, that
Well,
what you're saying?
the building for sure.
Because I guess the point was, is that because all these, or James, whoever it is, they usually park cars there during the festival. And so we had offered to say, hey, we will man that for you, Ollie, and split it with you if you want to park cars on that. And he said, no, he couldn't because it had to be roped off.
I would check with Josh whether that, like,
Okay.
there's still glass, there's a lot of glass in the one part, so.
It's good for us. I'm just saying, we were trying to find a way to help them out a little bit. But, okay, good enough. I'll check with y'all.
Hey Jeff, real quick, when's the parking bumper supposed to be in?
They were supposed to be in today.
Today? Okay.
What are?
Parking bumpers, the concrete bumpers.
Oh,
I ordered 25 of them. It cost about $1,500.
for the new lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see they slow down people that's driving willy-nilly over the sidewalk and curb
Well,
over there. I've seen a lot of that over the last few days.
We'll get some caution tape up through there and make a little bit of a,
Well, I don't know, do that.
well, around the outside, so.
People do it intentionally. They don't give a hoot. I mean, they're doing it intentionally. Caution tape wouldn't probably make any difference. Anyway, I got some serious stormwater stuff here, right? Very serious. Yeah, we met last week. The Jackson Voorhees came in at 1.93 million, and that's just for stormwater and sidewalks, whatnot, and street. Obviously, stormwater doesn't have anywhere near that kind of money. So we're talking about what to do. Community crossing, you can apply for up to $1 million, request up to $1 million a year for projects in community crossing. You have to every 6 months. Total for years for a town, I guess, is $1 million. My understanding. So we talked about let's split the 2 streets into 2 projects. Okay, that kind of split the cost. And again, to try to minimize debt and use the maximum leverage ability of the town, we talked about using the $500,000 for the American Rescue funds for the water project. Well, that thing's been pushed back. Plus, that's not going to leverage any of that money. That's just using it. Whereas if we took that and split it $250 in 2 different projects over 2 different years, you'll leverage that $250 into 75% match, which is pretty good leverage on your money as opposed to just using it. And we'll figure something out for water. But that's kind of what we came up with. That's where that project's sort of sitting right now. Well, yeah, there's more to it though. Well, we have a big concern over just paving over the sewers over there and the water lines. We should probably redo them. Of course, you can't do that with community crossing money. That has to be done from the utilities. So you have 2 streets over a period of 2, maybe 3 years, where you want to try to incorporate the sewer and the water lines into that. We talked about having to start Rogers firm videotape. You're looking at $70,000 just to videotape those 2 sewer lines. So the Stormwater Board wanted to bring this to this board and have you guys think about that idea, because if you're going to redo everything but the sewer, you probably ought to just go ahead and do the sewer and the water. Makes sense.
Makes total sense.
We're doing the stormwater, we're doing the gas. I believe Vector and their center point's coming in there in the next year. So think about that. No need to go down that hole tonight. But that's what we did at our last meeting. It was quite stormy.
I'm sure.
Did I miss anything?
Kind of hand in hand with, somebody brought, is it like on Jack Street, a lot of those lines are those copper lines?
Oh, water lines?
Yeah, to the houses. Mine's been replaced by UMAC with PAX from the meter to my house. But a lot of those, when my water lines broke, when they, Tony Brown was back there digging, it was just a copper line, it's all tangled. So there's a lot of copper lines you're gonna have to end up replacing anyway. And I hate to have to also have that be mandated 3 years after we had brand new sidewalks and concrete. It was kind of the thinking behind, we got a hole, let's put everything we need to in there.
Yeah. Okay.
And the stormwater fees, is a discussion the other day.
Oh, well, yeah, we had a discussion about stormwater fees. You want to go down that? You want to talk about that? What? No?
Let me guess, you want to raise them?
Well, in reality, in budget time, we won't go down. Anyway, we'll talk about that in budget.
I have discussed with Randy.
Yeah.
At some point, so it's not a big secret, but we need to really sit down.
Well, we have some commercial properties well, not commercial, actually, they're multi-family unit properties that need to be assessed an appropriate fee to be in line with what residential, single family, R1 versus R2. There's some discrepancies there that need to be addressed.
Well, I think what Brand and I talked about was, if you've got an electric meter, your residents. You know, if you're Burnett Manor and everything's paid by something, you figure something out. Because some of these commercial buildings, they're paying like $28 a month. Only, 75% more than what I pay, with a small lot. So if you have an electric meter, we're saying, put that $7.23 on there a month. That's what you need to be paying. And we can't selectively do that. So if it happens at South Market, New Hope, it has to happen at Anderson Green, it has to happen at the Pines, it has to happen at all these places.
Yeah, that's the point, and it's a separate utility from the other utilities, so it's not part of water, not part of sewer.
It's revenue.
And it goes to each resident. I mean, it helps support the stormwater system, which needs all support it can get. So that's what we've talked about. You know, when it comes time for our budget talks real soon, we'll get deeper down that hole. I think we've all. What?
We've been in enough holes today.
I know. I'm about ready to try to climb out.
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Anything from the public? Anybody want to make a comment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?